All right, hey, what's going on? What's up? What's happening? How you doing? Where you at? There's a reason for that line of questioning. It's a reason that I've asked you, how are you in so many ways. But before I give you the reasoning, first let me tell you who I am, who I be. My name is Aiyana Maat, and I am one half of the dynamic duo that is Ayize and Aiyana. And if you followed us for a while, then you know who we be, and you know where to find us over at blackloveandmarriage.com. But for those of you who may be seeing me for the very first time, what is it that I do? What is it that my husband does? Well, we work with couples. We work with folks who are in relationship. We try to get folks to see the best of themselves in each other, and we try to get folks to change. We're advocates of change, and we think that the most important and significant change that can happen in the world is a change that happens inside of yourself. So with all of that said, hello. How you doing? What's happening? How are you? How you be? Where you at? Where am I coming from with all of those greetings? I'm asking you, how are you? And I'm doing that because I don't know that many of us who are in relationship, and I'm speaking specifically about romantic relationships, but really this can be transferred to any relationship. I don't know that many of us ask that question with any real intention, any real genuine desire to know how the other person is doing, where they really at, where they be, what's going on with them, where's their head at. Okay, I don't think anybody, most of us, we don't really want to know. Now, we might have moments where we are really, operating from an elevated place and we genuinely want to connect in with someone, but most of the time we don't. And this is a problem, and it is a particular problem within the context of relationships. I don't know how many times I've seen this, y'all. My husband, he ain't here today, but I'm sure that he would agree with me that he has seen this as well over and over again. The inability, the refusal to look into someone else's situation, to try to see things from their perspective, to try to see how they're doing, where their head is, what's going on inside of their heart, what's happening for them. And I understand it. I know why we don't want to do it. Because oftentimes, for example, if we're in the middle of trying to get something, we want things to go a certain way, and particularly in relationships, committed relationships, married, boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, we're trying to go somewhere. We have a particular agenda, and we don't necessarily want to totally plug in to what it is the other person is bringing to the table, because we're here with an agenda. I need you to get with me. I need you to go this way. And so I'm using your information so that it helps me to understand how to further my cause. Okay? Why can I speak that so well? Because I do it. I've been there. How about that? But when I'm working from an elevated space, y'all, I've got to try to figure out where my husband is. I got to figure out where my sweet baby Ayize Maat is, where his heart is, what's going on with him. It is imperative. It is so important. And for those individuals who are in relationship, if this is you, you got a boyfriend, a girlfriend, you are married, and you find that you do not do this more than you do, because don't nobody do it all the time, you are in a danger zone. The couples who last, the couples who stick together, the couples who stay the course are the couples who know how to meet the other person's need. They know how to do that, and they know that the first thing you have to do to meet someone else's need is you have to abandon your position. Ooh, let that one sink in. I got to do what? I got to abandon my position? Is that what you just said, Aiyana? That's what I said. You have to abandon your position. And when I say that, I've seen so many faces screw up when I say that in different places. Like, what? Okay, I'm not doing all of that. I'm not doing that because this is what I think. This is how I feel. This is who I am. And I can't do that. And I think that, when folks start thinking about abandoning their position, there's a whole lot of fear that comes up, right? Because when you abandon your position, you think, man, so who's going to hold me down? Right? If I leave my position, who's going to look out for me? What am I going to get out of this? And how am I going to be protected? I'm going to be open. And I feel you. I feel folks on that. But I want to educate and elevate your thinking today. Let's first examine what it means to abandon your position. A position is a location. It is a particular place that you are in. A position is not your value. A position is not the essence of who you are. To abandon your position doesn't mean that you're rolling out on yourself. To abandon your position and leave it for a moment, leave it for a while, or even leave it permanently in some cases, means that you have to literally move to another place. And let me tell you, when you do that, when you make the first step and you decide that I'm going to leave my position, I'm not going to bring it up in the next conversation. I'm not going to try to figure out how to work it in another way. I'm not going to remind my partner why this works so well. I'm not going to try to get what I want. When you do that and you actually sit down next to him, tell him to explain it to me again. You know, I thought about this thing and I really want things to be all right. And I really want to hear from you. I really want to know how you feel. I really want to know what's happening. I really want to know where you're at. And it's genuine. Folks can feel that sincerity. They know that you really, really, really want to understand them. And guess what? Bingo! Your first piece has been done. The defenses are going down. The doors are being opened, not just in your partner, but in yourself. Because guess what? When you're on and in your position, your hands are up. When your hands are up, they're covering your eyes. You can't really see what's going on because you're defending yourself, right? You in that fight mode, right? You ain't really looking to see what's going on. You can't. You think you are, but you're not. And so when you abandon your position, you got to put your hands down. You got to relax your shoulders. You got to actually be intentional to connect in with somebody, look them in the eye, and actually figure out or attempt to figure out where they're coming from. And I guarantee you, I promise you, and this is no matter what kind of relationship you're in, really. When you do that, I promise you, you will see things that you didn't see before. You will actually have revealed to you a perspective that you had no clue existed before. You actually see something, understand something, hear something that you could not hear over in the position that you were defending before. You can't get it from that place. You won't understand it from that space. But when you move from it, you actually are opened up to something new. And when you're opened up to something new, not only do you benefit your partner, now this is the good stuff. Not only do they actually say, they feel me and they feel validated, and now they start to open up a little bit and you start to get a little bit of what you want. Not only that, but guess what? You think that when you abandon your position, that you abandon yourself, and ultimately that's not what's happening, because it's really not about you. And guess what? When you were going over to check out your partner's position, it ain't even about them. It's about the relationship. It's about the union. It's about the legacy you're building. It's about the institution if you're married. It's about where you're going as a couple. It's about what y'all represent as a family. It is about the two of you. So guess what? It's okay when you abandon your position. Even if you feel like, oh my goodness, I'm going to roll out on myself. I'm never going to get my needs met. I'm always going to be doing this for him. She ain't going to never listen to me. I'm always going to be lost in the sauce, and I ain't going to have no representation up in this relationship. That's not true. Because when you abandon your position and you open yourself up to somebody else's thinking and you see things a little bit differently, and I promise you, you will. You might not want to, and you might not be able to acknowledge it at first because it kind of hurts, right? Because ego is a beast, right? But you will see it. Then what ends up happening as you work through the process is that the relationship benefits in the end. And who's in the relationship? It is not just your partner. It includes you. And so you get the benefits. It's a domino effect. It just trickles down to you. Try it. Try it. Will you abandon your position so that you can elevate your relationship? Will you? It's hard. It ain't easy. But the more you do it, the easier and the better it gets. But guess what, y'all? In order to do it, you got to stop playing and start pushing.